This week, defending your honor in our exclusive interview with Alissa Prieto.
Building relationships is the way Mutual of Omaha has grown into one of the leading financial services companies in the world. Our reverse mortgage wholesale division is proud to carry on this 100-plus year tradition. To your borrowers, a reverse mortgage is more than a transaction. It's a promise of a better, more stress-free life. Our goal is to provide you, our valued client, with the best service and support possible so you can focus on helping your borrowers achieve the retirement of their dreams.
Welcome back to the Industry Leader Update. This week we have a special episode for you. We have Alissa Prieto with Longbridge Financial, who came on here a couple months ago, and so thank you for coming back, Alissa. We're talking about defending your honor as a reverse mortgage professional, and we had an earlier conversation, and I think it's really important for our listening audience to understand exactly what that means. But before we jump in, if you enjoy these episodes, please hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out on the algorithm. So, Alissa, you're thinking about this defending your honor, and I feel it's a situation that probably applies to every reverse mortgage professional watching today. So can you fill us in on just where this thought came from?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So thank you so much, Shannon, for having me. I really wanted to talk about this topic because I know that it's interesting times in the reverse mortgage industry, especially with the 10-year CMT going up and then coming back down, and trying to build relationships, working with financial planners, working with real estate professionals and everything that's going on with them, working with in-home care providers. And we really want to partner up with these people. And so one of my clients was working with a borrower who wanted to obtain a line of credit option, an adjustable reverse mortgage with a line of credit option, and they wanted the additional funds so that they could repair their home. Well, the loan officer was working with them, and the borrower said, should I take all the money at closing? Should I leave it in the line of credit? And they said, consult with your financial advisor. And after they spoke with their financial advisor, they came back and they said, my financial advisor told me that interest rates are really high right now, and I should not be considering a mortgage. And so the borrower decided not to move forward with the loan.
So what happened after that? Did they speak to this financial advisor? Was there any further conversation?
Well, the loan officer was feeling very defeated, and especially because her professionalism, her character, I think, was being challenged, because here she is suggesting to this homeowner, now is a good time to obtain a reverse mortgage. Why? Values are at an all-time high, and we could risk having values come down. No one knows what the market holds, right? But if you're in a situation where you have a need, such as repairing your home, you don't want to wait until you have a leak in your roof to do the repairs. You want to try and get ahead of that. And so she's thinking she's giving good advice. And to have somebody else come in and say, no, don't do a mortgage now, this isn't the right program for you, not having the knowledge or not even having a conversation with the loan officer to discuss it. I said to that loan officer, get in there and defend your honor. Explain to them why you think this is a good loan. This is your character. You don't want these homeowners to think that you're trying to convince them or suggesting a product for them that is not suited for them. Here you are, they have a need, and you are filling that need by offering a reverse mortgage. Now, does she have all of the details about their assets? I don't know. Maybe she could have asked more exploratory questions, or, maybe scheduled a conference call with the financial advisor. Maybe the financial advisor says, don't worry, you have all of these assets set aside. We're prepared for that. But we don't know until we have that conversation. So my suggestion is to any loan officers out there, make sure that you are defending who you are as a reverse mortgage loan officer. We are in this business to help seniors. And we're in this business to give them a better quality of life as they get older. And maybe this loan isn't right for them right now, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be in the future. And based on the response that she received from the homeowner, it seems like that financial advisor doesn't think a reverse mortgage would ever be a good fit. And so I think it's a great time to get in front of that financial advisor and explain to them maybe a little bit more about the advantages of a reverse line of credit.
Absolutely. I think you drive home an important point. If you don't come back and speak to that advisor and also follow up with the homeowner who decided not to do it based on that advice, you allow that lasting impression to continue that you made some sort of bad recommendation, and that has to be dispelled, thus defending your honor. One thing too I've found in the past, because I've worked with financial planners and advisors, is sometimes they don't know what they don't know. And so one of the effective methods I've found is to use the Socratic method and just say, well, and I can't remember who I give credit to for this, but they say, what's the plan B if she needs this money? What if home values fall? What then? Because if she has no other assets or a liquid cash that she can get her hands on, and she's perhaps house rich, cash poor, we don't know. If that's the case, what's the advisor's plan for her then? Who does she turn to?
Right. Those are all really good points. Yeah, I think, we as an industry, we are trying to network and educate and build relationships with financial advisors. And with this scenario, I just realized how important it is, because here the loan officer is trying to do the right thing by saying, hey, you know what, I think it's best that you consult with your financial advisor because they are an expert in their field. So here we're able to give the borrower additional funds or an additional asset that they can tap into. Let's talk to your financial advisor because they're an expert in what they do, and let's financially assess your situation and figure out a plan. And so to have somebody come in and say no, and it's probably it's hurtful and attacks your character. So defend your honor. We need to defend our honor. Us as a reverse mortgage industry, we've had to overcome a lot because the program, back in 1989 wasn't always what it wasn't what it is today. And so we need to educate people to let them know about all the protections that are in place, such as non-borrowing spouse protection, the counseling that they have to do, even two appraisals, there's a lot of protections put in place. So I think we just need to do a better job.
And I agree. And one thing I've noticed in the past is it doesn't have to be an adversarial type approach with the financial professional. And I know that's not what you're advocating at all. But when you defend your honor, that level of engagement, oftentimes your biggest critics in the financial professionals you'll deal with will become your biggest advocates once you've overcome that. So for our listeners, don't let that just stop you dead in your tracks. Try to build a relationship with them and help expand their understanding of the reverse mortgage. And it could be very likely that person could be a referral source. So what seems really negative and very discouraging, quite honestly, for an originator can be something that could grow into a strong partnership.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that with conflict, you can build stronger relationships, because if everything goes smoothly, then you never have a reason to call that person. You never engage that person because everything's going smoothly, right? So when there is some discomfort or conflict, and if you approach them or reach out and professionally, respectfully, then you can build that relationship and create some dialogue and learn from each other. Who's to say that we can't learn from financial advisors as well? So I think we're an expert in our field. We're an expert at reverse mortgages. They're an expert in what they do. So it's important that we team up and work together so that we can help seniors have a better lifestyle.
And I think it brings credibility to the table with the advisor if the reverse mortgage originator has done their fact finding, so they know what their assets are and if they have other means of paying for those home repairs, as you mentioned earlier, or if they have a CD that they could get access to. Maybe they don't need to do the reverse. If you've already addressed all those, then you've got a pretty good picture. Much like a doctor should not be prescribing medicine until they know your health history or what it is that is creating discomfort. And so I think that's so key. Excellent point, Alissa, defending your honor. Don't let this just go by. Don't just kind of recede back into the bushes and say, okay, I'm done. We don't want that lingering impression. Any other closing thoughts on working with financial advisors that you could pass on to our viewers?
We feel that once we, educate one financial planner and get them a little bit more knowledgeable about the reverse mortgage program, we're hoping that that will spread to all the financial planners out there. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but if they have the knowledge about the mechanics of it and how it works and how it can change somebody's life, and tell stories when you're talking to financial planners, even though they're brilliant people and they understand the nuances of their programs and are numbers people, they don't necessarily want to hear the numbers. They want to hear the stories, because the stories is what they're going to remember. They're going to remember that story about how their client didn't have to tap into that 401k. Instead, they used their asset, and now they were able to upgrade their house so that their wheelchair now fits into their property, as opposed to tapping into their 401k or another asset. So there's lots of conversations that we should be having, and we need to it's been a long call, but we need to continue, and we need to do it one financial advisor at a time.
Well said. Thank you, Alissa, so much for joining us today. Folks, that concludes another episode of the Industry Leader Update. Please leave your comments below, chime into the conversation, and let us know your thoughts and your experiences or your stories in working with financial professionals and how we can better overcome those objections that we see from time to time. Also, don't forget we have a YouTube channel where you can subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you never miss an upcoming episode. And each and every week we curate the most recent reverse mortgage related news in our weekly podcast, Heck'em World Weekly. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Music. You can also we have a video companion edition now, so you can watch that as well. Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to return next week for more reverse mortgage news, commentary, and analysis you only find here at Heck'em World. Have a great week.